Hey, that's pretty good.
Calm down. Let's not let your heart. You guys, you're the real heroes.
You fucking.
Anyway, on to the video. Dying Light 2 is a game I've been waiting for since at least 2018, about 3 years after the original game first released. With this game being a sequel to Dying Light 1, it had a lot to live up to in my eyes. Before we talk about the quality of Dying Light 2, let's first talk about what made Dying Light 1 so good. Dying Light 1 had some great mechanics. The parkour and the melee combat felt amazing to take part in, and going around and doing some of the side quests was also amazing, because most of these quests were very interesting. What helped these side quests really shine was the amazing world that was built around them. The zombies felt realistic, the different interactions with people felt realistic. It truly felt like you were in a post-apocalyptic world where people are struggling to survive. While those aspects of the game were really great, the actual main story for Dying Light 1 was super mediocre, and most of the characters were very cookie-cutter action characters. But this video isn't about Dying Light 1, it's about Dying Light 2, so let's talk about that. After finishing the game, I can confidently say that Dying Light 2 has a much better story. Despite the story being weird in its pacing, for example, there were at least 2 different points in the game where I genuinely believed the story was about to end, with mission names like The Final Showdown. It left me feeling that the story was about to conclude, things were going to be wrapped up nicely, and then I finished the mission, and there's like 2 or 3 more hours worth of story left to play. These moments also had build-up, dramatic music, and objectives that usually mean the game is about to end. Enough about the story. Let's start talking about some of the core gameplay aspects, starting with parkour. The parkour in this game feels way better than it does in the first game. You can now go into most of the buildings, meaning you have a lot more options for linking parkour movements and making transitioning from action to action more fluid, creating a seamless experience. They've also introduced paragliding into the game, adding even more crazy combinations of parkour into the mix. But somehow I still find myself dying to fall damage.
Success. Kurt fixed the bug.
There have also been some improvements to the parkour system that allow it to transition more seamlessly into the combat system. Although these two are not fully integrated, it's not like you're doing parkour, now you're fighting, now you're back to doing parkour. In Dying Light 1, the combat system and parkour system were both pretty good, but the main problem with them was that they were separate. Unfortunately, this remains the case in Dying Light 2. However, there are smoother transitions from parkour into the combat system or out of combat into parkour that allow me to excuse this fault in the game. Speaking of transitions, now we're talking about the combat system. The most notable change from the Dying Light 1 combat system to the Dying Light 2 combat system is the introduction of AI that will react to the moves you continue to do. By this I mean, if you keep attacking the AI in the same way, you won't be able to do that anymore. The AI will start reacting accordingly. So if you spam throwable objects, the AI will start dodging them. This keeps the combat from getting super stale, and you can't just spam M1 or RT to get through the combat sequences of the game. You have to constantly pay attention and adapt to how the enemy is adapting to you. There is also an actual stealth system in the game now. In Dying Light 1, when one enemy would see you, all of China knew exactly where you were, and there was no way to go back to being stealthy. There is one major downside to the new combat system: the additions of enemy health bars. In my opinion, it's very hard to get interested in a fight while there is a health bar over a zombie's head or an enemy's head. To the credit of the developers, however, they actually added options to turn off the health bars for different types of mobs, whether it's bosses, humans, or zombies. And I recommend, obviously, playing with these health bars off. The last notable improvement from the first game is the music. It can be inspiring, adrenaline pumping, or saddening. Unlike the first game, where the only score I can remember from that game is the title music because I played the game so much. Although I have finished the story, the developers have confirmed that they will be adding more story-based content to the game, so I'm always excited for that. I'd say this game was definitely worth the wait.